talking about value and pricing, because I'm very aware that as we're coming out of lockdown and as things are sort of returning to normal, I don't know whether they ever will return to normal, I don't want people forgetting the lessons that we've learnt in lockdown. And some of the lessons I believe we've learnt in lockdown is the value of things. I'll give you a good example of that. I've got a client who's a hairdresser, and I've been telling this client for over a year now that he has to increase his prices. And he says to me, yes, I will increase my prices. In January, he said to me, I promise I'll increase my prices in January. And he didn't do it. And I think part of the reason was he didn't believe he was valuable. He didn't believe he was of value to his clients. And he was also frightened that if he increased his prices, that he would lose them. They would go somewhere else. So during lockdown, we increased his prices. Came out of lockdown, and as you all know, when the hairdressers opened up again, which was a couple of weeks ago, he rolled out his new prices. But not only that, he also added a surcharge. So he added extra for PPE and for sanitizing stations and things. And not one of his clients batted an eyelid, because we all learnt how important, how valuable hairdressers are to us. And he hasn't lost a client, and all of his clients, like I say, didn't bat an eyelid. I wish he'd done it sooner. So my thing is, value yourself, value your business. Don't think that people won't pay prices. I'll give you another good example. This was somebody who pivoted. This is a wholesale greengrocer in Glasgow. And when all the shops and everything, all the restaurants and everything stopped, obviously he had nowhere to go with all his wholesale fruit and veg. So he decided to offer boxes to local households, which was great. But what he did was he took it a step further. So he did it on social media, and he would say to them, I'm going to the market today, and this is fresh in the market today, and there's these types of apples. This type of apple is like this, and it tastes like this, and there's this type of apple that looks like this and tastes like this. If you would like to try any of them, or if you want me to get any of them and put them in your box, just let me know. He'd say, I'm going to the farmers today to pick up my strawberries, my raspberries. This farmer, does great. This is the backstory about the family that run the farm. And he did a roaring trade. I mean, unfortunately, he doesn't deliver up to Aberdeen. Otherwise, I would have him too. Now, what I don't want him to do is, I don't want him to lose his customers once we get back to normal. So I don't want him to think, oh, well, things are back to normal. The restaurants are opening again now. So I don't need to have these people that I had during lockdown. I also don't want the households that used him during lockdown to say, oh, well, I'm back to work, so I'm not going to have time to I won't be at home to have this delivery, so I'm going to stop using him. Because he was valuable. He proved he was valuable. And it was nicer to be able to pick an apple and have that apple, or have strawberries delivered from a local farm. So my big thing is, don't undervalue yourself. Just because we're coming out of lockdown, don't get into a situation where you're fighting a price war and people are trying to cut the prices down. Value yourself. The other thing I need you to think about is your pricing, or what you should have done during lockdown is your pricing. Look at your pricing, and you will find, like me, I'll give you me as an example. I have clients, I did this exercise about a year ago, and I did it because I was working too hard, and I was also getting a bit fed up. I had some clients, I call them vampires. They were sucking the blood out of me, and I wasn't getting any I wasn't enjoying them. And I like to enjoy my clients. I like to get on with my clients. So I did this exercise. I went through all my clients and I looked at the ones that were profitable for me, the ones that I broke even with, and the ones that I was making a loss on. And I decided that I was going to increase the prices for all of them, but I was going to increase the prices depending on the category they were in. So the profitable ones, I was going to increase the price and I was going to offer them more value. I was going to tell them why I was increasing the price and why I thought they should pay the price and why I was valuable to their business. The break-even ones, I was very honest with and said, I'm not making any money with you. I can't keep going like this. I have to increase the prices. This is what the price is going to be. The ones that I was making a loss on, I thought, okay, I'm going to have to increase the price quite drastically. That was really frightening for me because I thought, they're all going to go. They're all going to go, well, I'm going somewhere else. But I thought, there's no point in me just increasing the price a little bit because they're still going to be a loss maker. And if I'm not making any money on them, why am I keeping them? You know, what are they doing for me? They're not making me feel valuable. I don't feel valuable to them. So I increased the price drastically with them and I lost 3 of them. And the 3 that I lost were the 3 that I wanted to lose. Everybody else stayed. So that's what I need you to be doing just now. I need you to be valuing yourself and I need to be looking at your prices, looking at the type of customers you've got, who are the ones that are profitable, who are the ones that are breaking even, concentrate on them. The loss leaders, increase your prices. If you lose them, you lose them. It means you've got more time to work on the ones that you are profitable or that are going to be profitable for you. You also need to be saying to yourself, what keeps them awake at night? What can I do to make myself valuable to these customers? What do they want from me? And with me, that was an easy question for me to think about because I'm an SME and I deal with SMEs. So what keeps me awake at night probably keeps them awake at night as well. So what can I do to make myself valuable to them? I've written some notes, so excuse me if I look down. I've said, you also have to realise that the market's changed. And I don't want you to be pursuing certain markets that aren't going to last, aren't going to work. You need to be selective. You need to be looking at who's the customer that's going to make me money, who's the customer that I can add value to, and stress your value to the customer. Not only because you're valuable to them, but show them that you're valuable if you've got staff, how you've looked after your staff during lockdown. Show them that you're a responsible, caring employer. That goes a long way. You need to reassess your marketing message. This is where Nazan will help you. You need to be thinking, what marketing message did I have before? Is that working now? I don't think it is. I think people have changed. And what people want now is totally different from what people wanted 5 months ago. I've said, be responsible, be thoughtful. Your customer will notice. Build value, and it will add to your loyalty. Present a clear vision, don't be ambiguous. So if you've got members of staff in your business, make sure that they're all on board with the same message. Don't be sort of preaching one thing yourself and not have the team on board. Make sure that everybody's sort of singing from the same hymn sheet. I hate that expression, but there you go. Be honest with them. And I think more than anything, talk to them, talk to your customers, talk to your clients. I think now we can, at this time, we can say to people, how are you? How are you? There's not a lot of times that you can say that, but you can say that now, and you can be honest with them. You can say, you know, during lockdown, I didn't know what blooming day of the week it was. Was it a Wednesday? Was it a Saturday? Was it a Sunday? Was it June? Was it July? I didn't know. I hadn't got a clue. Are they tired? Are they fed up? Are they worried? Are they anxious? I've signed up to this new business initiative, Leave No Business Behind. And one of the pledges that we have to do is we have to speak to every single customer, client that we have. We have to have a conversation with them, and we have to say to them, how are you? How are you coping? How can I help? I think it's great. And me as an accountant, I think that's super, but I don't think accountants are exclusive to this. I think any business can do it. They can phone up their clients and say, how are you? How have you coped during lockdown? How are you coping now? How are we going to get through this? How are we going to help you? How can I help you get through this? Do they need guidance? Sometimes the customer won't have a clue. He'll maybe say, yeah, I want to carry on doing business with you, but I don't know if I can afford to pay you straight away. Then negotiate with them. Find out if there's a deal that you can do. A lot of my clients need guidance, so I do videos, I do newsletters, I do these webinars, hoping that they'll come and they'll join and they'll listen, and if they don't join on the day and listen on the day, that they listen afterwards. So I just feel like I don't want businesses to go rushing in with, let's everything go back to normal and forget about what we've learnt. I also don't want them to get caught into the, I want it to be as cheap as possible, and I'm not paying those prices because I can't afford those prices, because you just get into a war with your competitors and nobody wins. In June, I had 5 potential new clients ask for quotes, and out of the 5, I won 2. And the 3 that said no to me, one was a new start. Now, new starts are difficult because new starts sometimes don't really appreciate an accountant or appreciate what an accountant can do for them. And the other 2 came to me because they weren't happy with their accountant. They came to me because they didn't like the service. They didn't like the fact that when they phoned up that they got a different person each time talking to them, and they had to ask, they had to tell the same story again and again and again, or they were sending emails and they weren't getting replies from the emails. But they were paying cheap prices. And they both refused me on cost. They both said no to me because they couldn't afford the cost that I had quoted. Now, was I bothered? No, because I value what I do. I'm good at what I do. I've got bags of experience. And if you're not prepared to pay for that, then that's fine. You can stay with the accountant that you've got and pay a cheap price and not get a good service. Or you can come somewhere, pay slightly more, and I mean, some instances it wasn't a lot more, and get value for money. And that's what I want you all to think about as we move out of lockdown. So, any questions? Anything you'd like to talk to me about?
I have a question, that's okay?
Yes.
Can you hear me okay? So how do you approach your clients with a price increase proposal then? What does that look like?
When I did it last year, I sent them an email. I chickened out, actually. I sent them an email. I suppose I should have spoken to them face to face, but I was really worried about it. I'll be very honest with you. I was really worried about it last year because I really thought they would all just walk. But I was very honest with them. Like I say, with the ones that I was breaking even with, I said to them, I'm not making any money. I'm not making any money. I'm doing all this work for you. And I mean, I itemised the work that I was doing, and I'm not making any money, and I can't keep going the way I've been going. So I have to increase the price by however much it was per month, because a lot of my clients pay me a retainer every month. And I think, like I say, 3 of them came back and said that was mad, but they were the ones that I wasn't making any money on anyway. So I wasn't bothered. One of them just said, I can't afford that. And I said, that's fine. You have to go, you have to do what you have to do, but I can't keep working for you, doing the amount of hours that I'm doing and not making it. Well, I didn't tell him that I wasn't making money, but I just said to him, I can't keep going like that. And he left. One of the other ones just said, no, I'm not paying that price. And I went, that's fine. And the third one, I actually I pushed them because I wanted rid of them. So I said to them, I think it's got to a stage where you need to find someone else, because I can't cope with the amount of work that I'm doing. But everybody else was fine. I was shocked. I was really shocked. But that's how I did it. I would have spoken to any of them. I think I said at the end of the email, if you want to talk to me about any of this, then please get in touch, because I've got a good relationship with most of my clients. I haven't got a huge client base because there is only me, so I can't do thousands of clients. It's just not physically possible. I can't even really do hundreds of clients. It's not physically possible. So I've got a good relationship with most of them, and most of them came back and went, yeah, that's fine. Which made me think, why didn't I do it sooner? And I tell you what, I'll probably do it again the end of this year, because I feel I've done a lot during lockdown for them. I've given them a lot of support during lockdown, and I haven't charged any extra. And I've helped them apply for grants, I've done furloughs, I've done heaps of work for them. Haven't charged any extra, simply because I didn't think it was right to do that. But come the end of the year, I'll probably get in touch with them and see, because of what's happened, and hopefully you'll have seen the value, because I'll have done this, this, and this for you, I'm going to have to increase my prices. We all have to learn to value ourselves. I think that's one thing that we've learned in the lockdown, how valuable we all are as individuals. Let's not forget it. That's what I think anyway. So will you go and do that, Naz?
Well, my next question would be, as a new business, as of February, when do you think the right time would be for me? Because I'm still building up a reputation, especially in the city that I live in now. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I would start with new clients with you. I would make your new clients that you have on board, that you're actually pricing, you're sending out proposals at a price that you want to, and then do it that way. Then go back to, I don't know if you can add value to the clients that you've got by saying to them, I know I do this for you, but I can now do this for you. Or there's this that I think you should be doing. Or there's this bit of marketing that we haven't even looked at. Maybe we could explore it now, because we're coming out of lockdown. And it would be a good time for us to review the monthly figures that I do, the fees that I charge. And they'll have worked with you since February, so they'll have an idea of the value that you're providing for them. And they'll think, okay, I don't really want to lose Naz. I'll do it. And if they do go, then did you really want them in the first place? Don't get like me, where you've got clients where you're beginning to resent working for them because you feel like they've got you too cheap. Don't do that. I mean, none of us got into this business for the love of it. I mean, I love my job and I'm glad I'm doing it, but I'm doing it for money. I'm I'm doing it so that I don't want to be a millionaire, but I'm doing it so that I've got enough money to live every month, to pay all my bills, and maybe go on holiday occasionally, but God knows where and when. But, and if you love it as well, that's good. But don't do it and not make any money for it. It's not worth it. Value yourself.
Oh, thank you.
No problem. Well, thank you all for joining. Thank you all for listening to me, my rambles. I hope you take some of what I've said on board and implement it. And if I can help you in any way, then just get in touch. Either through my website, which is sjc+0.co.uk, or contact me direct. My email is susan.crine@sjc+0.co.uk. Thank you for joining me.